Lemon and the Very Angry Bee. One sunny morning, Lemon woke up in a wonderful mood. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the garden smelled absolutely amazing. "Oh, this smells like an adventure," Lemon said and proudly trotted into the garden. The flowers were blooming everywhere: daisies, sunflowers, and tiny yellow blossoms. Lemon leaned toward one of them. Sniff, another sniff. That smells delicious. And then, buzz, something zoomed right past his nose. Lemon froze. Hovering in front of him was a small but very serious bee. Buzz! "What are you doing near my flowers?" she said angrily. I'm just sniffing," Lemon replied quietly. "Sniffing?" The bee grew even more upset. "This is my workplace. I am collecting nectar. I have a schedule." "A schedule?" Lemon blinked. "Yes." Bzzz. "At 8 o'clock, daisies. At 9, sunflowers. At 10, the little yellow flowers you are currently disturbing." Lemon took a careful step backward. "I didn't mean to bother you." Bzzz! The bee flew closer, and suddenly the chase began. Lemon ran across the garden. The bee chased after him. "I just wanted to sniff," Lemon shouted. "I just want to work," the bee answered. He hid behind a bush. The bee hovered above. "I can see you." Lemon dashed towards the barn. The bee followed. He ran around a bucket. The bee flew around it. He crawled under a bench. The bee hovered right in front of his nose. "Listen," Lemon said, panting. "I'm not your enemy." The bee squinted. "Then why are you poking around my flowers?" Lemon thought for a moment. "Because they smell like sunshine and summer and happiness." The bee paused. "To me, they smell like work," she said seriously. "Can't you just take a little break?" Lemon asked. "A break? Bzzz! We have a whole family to feed. Honey doesn't make itself." Lemon slowly sat down in the grass. "I didn't know. I thought you just flew around." The bee gently landed on a daisy. "We don't just fly around, we work, and without us there would be no flowers, no honey, and no sweet pies your grandma bakes." Lemon's eyes grew wide. "No pies?" "Exactly." Lemon raised his paw. "Okay, I won't sniff the flowers without permission anymore." The bee sighed. "Sniffing is fine. Breaking them, not fine. Jumping into the flower bed, definitely not fine." Lemon lowered his head. "I jumped once." "I know," the bee said. There was a little silence. Then the bee spoke more gently. "If you want to sniff, sniff from the side, and don't panic when we are working." Lemon nodded. And you won't chase me again? The bee smiled, as much as the bee can smile. Only if you decide to start dancing in the flower bed again. Lemon giggled. Deal. The bee flew up into the air. And remember, she called back, even the smallest creatures can do very important work. Lemon watched her fly from flower to flower. You are tiny but very brave, he whispered. That evening, Lemon told Grandma Ola, today I learned that bees are not just bzzz, they are a whole team of workers. Grandma Ola laughed. You see, Lemon, respect those who work hard, and life will taste sweeter. Lemon curled up on his lemon-shaped bed. The bees buzzed softly in the garden, and now the sound didn't feel scary anymore. It felt important. Good night, hard-working bees, Lemon whispered, and he fell asleep with the gentle scent of daisies in the air. The end. Dear kids, if you like my story, please give me your precious like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.